is July 31st. We have hit the end of July 2014 on the Daily Echo. This is our 105 or 105th episode, so we're moving right along on our way to 365. I want to wish my nephew, Darren, a happy birthday. If you look up in the corner up there, I've got a nice picture of Darren. This is back earlier in his life when he was with sort of a boy band. It was sort of a little 4-man or 5-man singing group in Disneyland, but we're proud of him nonetheless. Great young man. Last night had the opportunity to talk to my son Landon and his wife Karina. They just got the ultrasound for our first grandchild. We're going to have a little girl and we're excited. Very exciting news. Wonderful day yesterday. Today I want to talk a little bit about the title of the Daily Echo today. When you pick up one end of the stick, you pick up the other end. And it really goes hand in hand with the entire site, the Daily Echo. What we put out there always comes back to us one way or another. We live in a world where we deal with natural law. And sometimes natural law is easier to understand than laws that we sometimes cannot see clearly. A good example is gravity. If I make the decision to jump off of a building, the minute that decision has been made and I jump, I cannot change the consequences of that natural law. We also hear about a statement, kicking against the pricks, that if you kick against the pricks, you're going to hurt your foot. If we pick up the wrong stick, we're going to suffer the choices of that decision, whatever it may be. A businessman can decide in business to be dishonest. Socially, will he reap the benefits, or will he reap the problems that are associated with the decision? Yeah, eventually he will. Now, is that going to be found out tomorrow or the next day? No, maybe not, maybe it will, but eventually it will. But the natural consequence of that choice will be his character, who he is, and the deterioration of who he is as a person. If I decide to jump out in front of a train, once that decision is made, I can't change my mind. I have to suffer the consequences of what's going to happen to me when that train hits me. The same thing goes with the decisions of food that we eat. Exercise that we decide to do or we don't decide to do. Study, knowledge, learning. Sometimes we think that putting in all of that time is not profiting us anything, and yet that knowledge and that wisdom is really helping us, and eventually we will reap the benefits. So life really is an echo. When we do pick up one end of the stick, we pick up the other end. Sometimes it happens a little bit later, but we are always going to suffer or enjoy the benefits of the consequences of picking up that stick or doing that thing. So keep that in mind all of the time. We talk about this over and over. I bring up the Chinese bamboo tree a lot because many times the decisions that we make, we may not see the results of those decisions for a period of time, but they will come. Believe me, they will come. Criminals, for example, do not begin their lives doing this horrible deed that eventually lands them in jail. They do smaller, little things. They're dishonest. They cheat. They steal a pencil. They do whatever it may be, eventually leading them to these bigger choices. Some of the criminals in our judicial system that we've seen, if you've read some of their histories, and Ted Bundy, who was a serial killer and a rapist, he talked about years ago when he was a child. The first thing he did were these old Sears catalogs. He started to get obsessed with the women in there, and they were in their old-fashioned bras and whatever they may be. That led him to more of a road of pornography, which led to, didn't get enough of that, to rape, murder, and so forth. Our decisions affect us in so many ways that I think we have to be so careful that we think the little decision isn't going to do anything, but it leads to other decisions. So remember that as you move forward today. Make great decisions. Make good decisions. When you pick up one end of the stick, you always pick up the other end. No matter what occurs at somewhere down the road, you will see the benefits or you will see the problems that are associated with that decision. Have a wonderful, tremendous Thursday. We'll be coming back to you tomorrow on Fantastic Friday. Book of the month for August. Excited about that. And we'll begin scroll number 4, The Greatest Salesman in the World, with Og Mandino. As always, thanks for taking time.